Wait 5 minutes. My network is unstable. Hang on. No way their charge cancels there. They would have all stopped. That looks so weird. That looks weird. Oh, but it. I mean, like, monastic knights have always just been very weird. One of the things that's always really annoying is that sometimes, like, certain effects would, like, be delayed. Certain effects, like, sometimes, like, when they try to get stopped by braced weapons, they'll like, charge halfway through into the formation before they get stopped. That just looks weird. If I had more of that, that would. If I had more of that, that would be really. That would be fun. All right. Hopefully, I got the timing right. Cause yeah, 750. I'll get the. I should get. Should get the Pigman. Wrong one. Hmm. All right. They. Oh no, wait. They kept the same clean feed. All right. Cool. That's fine. Da 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 da. All right. Hopefully all of that's working. They should set up their own stream very shortly, I think. Hopefully. Maybe. Um, so anyway, hello ladies and gentlemen, Azuka here. I'm going to be bringing to you the finals of the House Legion League. So I hope you guys will enjoy. We do have the battle between, well, it's going to be a rematch between CBL and ECL. It is coming up from, so we have CBL coming from the winner's bracket and ECL coming up from the lowest bracket after defeating BODS. Seriously overrated team probably. But then again, there's not very many teams who to really compete against them. So BODS is one of the newer ones, although I do think CBL does have a pretty good track record. They've most notably been in the top 8 most of the time. ECL has been getting into the top 4 more consistently than CBL. So I do think it's going to probably still be a toss-up between CBL and ECL. Both teams are very close together. The last time we watched these two teams fight off against each other, CBL probably has a little bit more benefit in the teamwork category. Again, ECL, I've always described ECL as kind of a team with a lot of high skilled players but lacks teamwork. A lot of the time, ECL um, really excels in kind of the normal kind of like the uh, ebb and flow of the battle where player skill becomes more important than teamwork, where they're constantly cycling through, coming in from different angles. The more chaotic a fight is, the better it is for ECL. But CBL probably has the stronger teamwork, so I don't think that ECL will lose up front. But CBL really needs to kind of open up their strategies because either side could probably easily win in a front-on confrontation. And being on the defender's side, that front-on confrontation becomes exponentially more difficult because you gotta be careful of the setting that you're in, the scenario which you will face. Especially since both teams are very highly skilled, I don't believe that either side is going to be able to take the championship easily from one another, unlike yesterday, which was a 3-0 stomp for ECL. Which I am hoping that we don't get to see another kind of thing. I love the little bit of back and forth if it does happen. We should get the Pigman phase very shortly, hopefully. Am I on the right one? I hope I'm the right one. Probably gonna start on exactly thing. Oh, there we go. does look like gonna have a roll. Or did oh that's ready from ECL. I do wish ECL luck. I do got a couple of guys in there. John Reamer in particular. I'm not sure if some of the other guys are still fighting along. Just probably John Reamer that I'm really rooting for. CBL has not joined the pick band just yet. Maybe a little bit late. They shouldn't be. Whoa, there we go. That was already and instantly into the roll. Looks like ECL rolls the 1. Is it the lower number that wins? Probably the lower number that wins. Otherwise, we do have a roll of 3 for CBL. Not exactly sure about the rules for that one. A ban on Linwu Fortress. Not a surprise, realistically. Linwu Fortress, no one wants to fight on that, apparently. Even including yesterday, Linwu Fortress and Kurat Castle. Kurat Castle gets banned by CBL, so those two get banned. Pretty common. I can't even remember properly, but I think BODS actually banned out Kurat Castle first, then then White Elk Court? Not sure. I can't remember properly there. Anyway, here comes the map pick. I think it's going to be the Bailu, obviously. Obviously, it's going to be Bailu. Otherwise, White Elk Fort. Not my favorite of map. We've been seeing this map quite heavily. It is the featured new map, quote-unquote new map. And I don't think it will be... I don't think it would be fair to kind of have border fort to not border fort wall fort to come in all the time as well. So we got to get some really nice maps come through. A ban on the Siphonades. Very interesting. Will we also get another ban on the Zykelia Militia? This will come down to pure skill in some of the usage of units. Siphonades are extraordinarily impactful and probably one of the most impactful units in the game. We have ECL going to ban out the Fortebraccio Pikemen. So there's that one. Which is kind of strange considering that ECL was safe picking the Fortebraccio Pikemen quite a bit, or every single time in the both pick ban phases yesterday. So I think it's going to be quite interesting to note that Fortebraccio Pikemen are banned for both ECL and CBL. Their safe pick for ECL now is going to be coming up. The Yanudals get safe picked. Oh, that's gotta hurt. I did get told that they are getting nerfed, which is really good. CBL gonna have to ban out their next one and then finish up with their safe pick. I wonder what they're gonna safe pick more than anything else than their bans. Well, actually, no, the bans are pretty interesting, but the Yanyadows being saved. I don't like the fact that the Yanyadows were saved here in this case. I really wish they were banned. Oh, Metallictors and Chevaliers. Really? Really? Would you ban Chevaliers in this case? Bailu. I've not seen Chevaliers be really good in a Bailu or in White Elk Court in general. But a safe pick on the Shenji Grenadiers. That's going to be very interesting. No Fortebraccio Pikemen. So, in the grand scheme of things, there are two ways probably to deal with the Yanudao Cavalry is have so many units on the field that they can't hit all of them, which is actually very difficult to do because they'll virtually one-shot most units, or have units so tanky they don't get one-shotted. So Medals might be a good alternative. Maybe We got the halberdiers or even halberdier sergeants come up to pick up the thing, but they are not your go-to. I'm pretty sure Yan Yudao will instantly drop a halberdier unit very easily. Manao unit, not as easily. I think it takes around about 2 swings in order for Yan Yudao cavalry to really just chug through a Manao. So there's not really enough. There's not really very many safety nets. Yeah, Yan Yudao will probably just rule the day here for either sides. Do mind that they are available for both sides. But a ban on the Madao Battalion and the Camel Lancers. Oh my. I didn't even consider the camels, honestly. But that is painful. That is painful. Oh my goodness. Um, Worst thing about this as well is that it's not a wall map. A point is on the ground, so cavalry can get to the A point. Means that means A to base literally could just be cavalry. I think ECL is going to just go with cavalry. Mainly because with Fortebraccio is taken out and Waddell's taken out, there are not really any good alternatives. I mean, like, Camel Lancers were strong and stuff. They get to stop up quite a few, but they're really tanky, but they don't deal very much damage. You can easily overwhelm them with just sheer damage, and a lot of cavalry units has damage. That's not even a joke how much damage cavalry units have. Also, be easily taken out by fire type units. This gives me kind of like a vibe where it's just like, have cavalry, have a bit of range. Anything coming up against the range will just instantly get destroyed by cavalry, and the range will just shoot out anything that doesn't have a shield. So, first of all, any of the shield units would easily get annihilated. Second of all, anything that doesn't have a shield will get rinsed out by the range unit. That's why the Chevalier combination is so powerful. So powerful. But anyway, with that being said, they finish up the thing. I think we are on a 3 minutes delay here. Oh no, it was kind of around about 5 seconds delay this time, so that's nice. That's nice. Um, oh, that's really weird. I did not expect that. Anyway, um, no, I want a source generator, not a output generator. With all that being said, I mean, I'm quite interested in some of the I'm quite interested in some of the tactics. This is going to be a completely different ECL that we saw from yesterday. But then again, like there was a lot of cavalry still being used between the Liaos and or just really the Liaos. I think the Daggereg Lancers got banned. Um, but all in on the cavalry here. With the Fortebraccio, Badals, and the Camel Lancers taken out, cavalry will be the unit that really just rules the day here. And the brutal thing here is halberdiers won't do very well in this scenario. Could possibly hold to a certain extent. I don't believe, absolutely don't believe that regular halberdiers will hold. Maybe win out in numbers, but a bit of a toss-up, I would guess, because you could go for efficiency if you can get both the halberdiers and the halberdier sergeants both stacked with the double damage resistance against cavalry while braced. That's 70% plus their innate damage resistance of of a one hit, you could get them to the state where they trade equally against the Anudals or the other cavalry, but it still be a struggle. It will still be a struggle. You'll need a lot of things to deal with. You'll need quite a few things to deal with the cavalry coming in. Oh, what's also very interesting is that because the Imperial Pike advance counts as a brace, and the bracing damage works on it. I'm wondering if the cavalry damage resistance also works on it. You can get a 70% You can get a 70% damage resistant Imperial pikemen while they're advancing. That'll be cool because like cavalry a lot of times just melt the Imperial pike guards so easily. Uh Man. I'm not looking forward to this. I'm not looking forward to this at all. At all, at all, at all. And it is 8 o'clock, guys. Don't forget to restart your streams and you'll make sure you get that drop. I'm not entirely sure whether or not there is drop on my channel. I think only just the yeah, it's only on the developers one. Sad. But nevertheless, I just hope we get to see a good game. I love commentating for this, but I'm also very skeptical on I'm very skeptical on how infantry is going to handle just the power of cavalry. And considering that you could probably just go with the triple cav lineup, Yanudals, Liaos, and Daggerack Lancers, that's what I'm thinking that ECL is going for. Just go with full cavalry on defense and attack. The high efficiency for cavalry, mass cavalry, is crazy. Not to mention of how fast they are. You would not be able to fortify your position in time when you're attacking to withstand the mass of cavalry. Secondly, while attacking, cavalry could come in from multiple different directions, even if it's not very many. One cavalry coming in from a different direction could spell doom if it's not defended properly. And when I mean defended properly, not a single halberdier can hold the line in this case. I've seen Daggerack Lancers eat through halberdiers really easily. I've seen Liao Rangers eat through halberdiers very easily. And of course, halberdiers just get thrown about with the Anudals. Even against winged hussars, I would argue that halberdiers are not very effective. Although I have been proven wrong about the winged hussars just eating through just entire units of halberdiers. They do make a good dent into the halberdiers, but the strange thing here is back in the CBL, the CBL back earlier in the winter, or earlier this year, mass halberdiers were really effective at killing the winged hussars. What would happen is that the winged hussar would charge through, but halberdiers would survive and they would get hit on the side. So the winged hussars would eventually just get slowed to a halt and just bleh, die. So there's that. But I'm also just strange. I'm just also upset that we're probably not going to get to see very much infantry impact. But I also think this has to be kind of the inevitability of how the balance is going. Arty almost completely negates infantry. Once the artillery is set up, infantry takes too long to get up onto that arty or fight, or it takes like frankly a long. If you take any infantry battle, it takes way too long to break through in order to get to the artillery at the back, or even very close at the front. Cavalry doesn't have that problem. Nothing can withstand cavalry, so you don't have an issue with arty more than necessary. Arty will probably only be able to get off one shot. Also, because cavalry is spent most of the time since it's a high-speed unit, it can either be very far away from the fight or can be moving, which will be very difficult for RT to get a clean shot on. Me neither, man. Mask. I don't know why CBL wants that Shenji Grenadiers. That was a weird pick. The RD rules for HLL has changed from CBL. CBL used to give only up to rare, or sorry, you only had rare artillery. I mean, like, again, you wouldn't want to use green ones anyway. And the attackers could use 2, the defenders use 1. But here in the HLL, you use your own arty. You can use up to legendary, so if you got any legendaries, you can use them. Along with that, attackers have 3 arty and defenders have 2. I think the biggest change here is the increase of 1 to 2 for the defenders. The defenders have been seeing probably a higher rate of success this season, mainly because the attackers actually don't have enough time to gain an advantage with their own arties while also getting shot at by the defenders. So that's one of the things that is really important, is that the defenders' usage of arty is less important to counteract the attackers, so they get more bang for your buck. And the difference is, the difference between arty numbers is might seem like the attackers still have a 1 advantage, but you have to remember that previously the attackers had 100% more arty than the defenders. In this case, they only have 50%. So, in the grand scheme of things, the actual discrepancy between arty is smaller in comparison because of the grand total than it was before. Even though that the difference is still 1 whole arty, or 15 arties in this case. I haven't seen a great bombard just yet, but I would definitely love to see someone put it down in the finals. Everyone's been expecting a kind of like a drop from the finals. If I remember correctly, John Rima still has 1 great bombard left, and I wouldn't be surprised if he puts it down. If I were to piss, where would it be from? What? I don't know, man, Brett. What do you mean? Like, in context to a location? I don't know. From a really high place? I don't know. I would be too scared to pee if I was in a really high place. CBL using a lot of heavy armor here. Probably very scared. Very interesting to see that there's a lot of short swords from CBL. I think the killing power on ECL is definitely going to rule the day. Lots of monks, lots of cavalry, actually. Not as many cavalry as I was expecting, but still a lot of cavalry. No Liaos, which is the very surprising thing. Like, the number of Liaos is like 3. No, maybe 2. There's 2 Liaos. We got some winged hussars coming out, which is very interesting. Actually, no, there were 3. There were 3 Liaos. So we have CBL attacking first, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be very difficult for them. The number of cavalry, I mean, for the life of me, there is not enough pikes in this game to deal with the amount of cavalry that either side has. So they're gonna have to end up trading cavalries. And I'm gonna say this very simply, is just the short swords are not gonna do you any better. The getting hit by a Yan Yu Dao is no joke. Oh, you have to say is that. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. The short sword Ironside works by increasing the armor amount rather than the giving them damage resistance. So this could be very important. Ironcap Bow Riders coming out of the front gate. Very strange to see them like this, but they're easy to control from up top. Though I would say that probably just having random ass Iron Cap scouts would have probably been better. Though that they do shoot out the units fairly easily, in fact. Look at them just shoot down so much of the surf units. And I mean that's a lot. That considering they probably killed over 30 surf units already. They shot off this Metallitor. They shot off the Metallitor before. They killed half of a pike unit that was running around, and they're still shooting the new one. So I'd give them around 40 kills for that one. If I was watching up top more closely, I'd probably be able to tell how many they got. That is to say as well, CBEL really struggling to deal with that, which makes me a little bit worried because it does mean that CBEL really struggles in a little bit of skirmish style. Here comes a little bit of skirmish here to the left side gate. I mean, left side from the left side wall here. Yan Yudals will easily kill your heroes, so I would definitely not just rock up here with nothing. Bottom line, Yan Yudals are probably more terrifying to heroes than top line ones, but more and more people are coming up. I would definitely have a rotation of probably 2 cavalry cycling through each other, and better control over your cavalry would probably be necessary. If you lost 2 Yan Yudals, that's fine. Yan Yudals is a unit of 16. Oh, sorry, not 16, of 18. So you still got a lot. Have a stinky drinky poo with me. What? Are you drunk, Bread? Bread's drunk, everybody. So that's just flooding the front gate with serfs. Though it didn't work, the battering ram gets destroyed again. And again, the front gate is very important because resupplying units for the attackers is very difficult. Very, very difficult. And if you die, that's a bad thing because you'll have to respawn. But if you stay alive, the only place you can get another unit is very far away. You either go straight through the front gate, grab another unit, or walk all the way back to the right-hand side. Which, again, you'll either walk into the enemy's spawn from the base section or from the other section. So there's 2 places where they can spawn, either straight down the lane on the left-hand side between the 2 supply points, or directly on the enemy or the defender base point. Now, here's the smart thing to do is shoot out all of the polearm units with artillery. Don't need to do anything fancy. Just literally any time you see polearm units, just place an arty in front of them. If, like, there is nothing they can do, getting shot is terrifying. Also, I would change the type of arty I would be using, since I'm facing against cavalry. Flaming comets, howachas, cavalry are very susceptible against those kinds of artillery. War rockets still very amazing. I think divine crows will also do very well. Divine crows, if anything, do like they're basically a super scorpion. There's nothing you can do about that. Starting off really good, in fact. A little bit of wastage from ECL here, dealing with just some monks, serfs, and a halberdier unit. I'm not sure which halberdier because I don't get to see their tier. But probably the halberdier sergeants in this case would not bring regular halberdiers unless I'm going for an infantry. Obviously, the Anudals just run straight through that formation of shields, pikes, and shield maidens. I believe there was a shield maiden in that. Yanudals just look at that halberdier and just sideline it into oblivion. They lose 1 Yanudal, but they murder the entire halberdier unit. I was actually kind of surprised that the halberdier unit managed to trade in that case. Not exactly inefficient with the trade either. So we got some artillery platforms barreling right through that formation. John Remo controlling the... Nope. Comes up with their halberdiers. Probably will take a while to break down the unit. But the funny thing here um, is that the halberdier units do a lot of damage in phalanx formation, but in their normal brace formation, they don't do very much damage. In fact, I think in phalanx formation, halberdiers and halberdier sergeants do almost twice as much damage as their regular damage, which translate to around about like 1,200, about 1,000, like either 1,000 or 1,200 damage in their normal brace to like 24,000 damage in their phalanx formation. Obviously, you have to count for armor, so it's more like 900, it's more like 800, 900 versus like 16 or 1,800. I mean, the War Rockets, the Divine Crows, I think I saw a flaming comet there. I'm actually not sure where the War Rocket was firing from to shoot into the center there. In the whole grand scheme of things, I mean, like, it's pretty disgusting watching the cavalry just instantly melt all of the infantry on the ground there. The artillery are not very effective in this case because of how fast cavalry are moving. A good shot on cavalry could kill the whole unit, but again, you just lost your entire defensive line if like the timing for things is just not going well because by the time you kill the cavalry unit, you've already lost your entire unit. So what's the benefit of having that artillery unit? It's a net zero, basically. It's still a net zero. Lots of Yan Yidao now deployed for the attackers. Will they now gain an advantage, having more cavalry out on the field? Winged Hussars running away from the Yan Yidaos there on the left. I have no idea. Bread, again, that just seems weird. I mean, like, is it, would I have to transform that yeast into usable yeast? I don't know. But in general, like, you shouldn't be using human to generate your yeast. We got CBL going in straight through the center there, just barreling through with cavalry. Both sides just throwing cavalry at each other. It's very hard to tell who's winning. Does look like CBL has the advantage. ECL coming up with Imperial Spearguard. They actually survived getting swiped twice, in fact, and facing off against some monks right now. So ECL is getting pushed back. Could see a massive respawn. CBL gets a little bit of defense up with a single halberdier unit. Obviously, they keep throwing the Yan Yudaos there. We got some Daggerrack Lancers now coming in. Whoa! Sideswipe! Although the front gate also gets sideswiped. Here comes a massive cavalry push by the defenders. Winged Hussars through the center, gets stopped by Shenji Grenadiers, but cavalry is still being thrown straight through that front gate. And coming in from the sides is a couple of Daggerrack Lancers, but I don't think they're in charge mode, so they're not going through the front. They're not going through the clearing out the front section. Entire back line is is getting wrecked, and it is a complete mess for the defense right now. It's a back and forth between the defenders and the attackers. Who can throw more units at this A point right now? Not able to solidify their point. They just have a rotation of cavalry coming through. CBL also coming in with another set of cavalry. We got Yan Yudaos screaming through. Hits the halberdiers on the side, instantly killing it. Lots of Daggerrack Lancers switching over to the left here. Loads of Daggerrack Lancers probably going straight for the supply point now. ECL is on the back foot because they can't get any more units as they get interrupted. But they have their heroes here on the point. It is burning, so it does look like a Divine Crow was shot directly onto the A point right now. Yes, Divine Crow there on the back. We got some more cavalry coming out from respawn. Gets stopped by their own fire. Right now, the friendly fire from the Divine Crow from both sides is actually hurting them. Hurting both sides. War rockets also now being deployed. Lots of artillery being deployed. Barely any infantry is surviving. Just a few seconds here on the front line. Now, Imperial Spearguard do clear up, apparently manages up to clear out the right-hand side here. and the front gate is just filled with probably surf units. We got a halberdier unit leading, but we got battaliators and farmers there in the back. But again, artillery is just beating up onto the infantry really easily, almost killing tens of units in a single volley. ECL manages to pull back. I don't know what happened to all of those Daggerag Lancers, but I can definitely tell you that was a very long fight. Both sides just throwing units at each other, and it is clocking down to only a few Tier 4 units left. I don't even think any usable Tier 5s are going to come out from CBL very shortly, and definitely not. I mean, like, it does look like ECL still has a couple of Yan Yadals out on the field and probably still in reserve. Roundabout. We do have an entire unit of shield maidens from John Rima here. Gong also trying to look for those stair swipes. Whoa, talking a bit too soon. We do have a Liao's gets instantly eaten up though. Halberdier units actually hold strong for that one. Final push from CBL with 1 minute 10 seconds to go. We have Imperial Pikeman darts off with a march here. Oh, right onto the Shield Maidens right there. Shield Maidens get almost killed, but there's a couple left for John Rima, and lots of serfs coming in from all directions. This is a nice look for ECL. Very superior here on the point. Not very much coming out from CBL to really turn the tide here. Just a lot of serf units. It's going to be a long battle. You also have to take out this monk here at the front, but 11 heroes for the attackers, 12 heroes for the defenders. It doesn't look like they're going to go for a hero win, but there's just so many units here for ECL. There is nothing left for CBL to really claim victory here. We've got a halberdier unit as well securing the victory, along with the Shenji Grenadiers. Oh my goodness. The battle was fast, and the battle was long. That was a long fight for CBL. With only 4 heroes left, I don't think they'll be able to take this first battle. Now, to read back a little bit. Yes, it is. Okay, so, cav spam everywhere. My favorite type of battle. Oh, man. I love cavalry. What do you mean? Everyone loves cavalry. Sarcastic note over. Too much of any unit is too much. Too much infantry, too much range, too much cavalry. You can always have any kind of scenario. Any meta that involves any singular type is annoying. It doesn't matter which meta you're going to be in. You always want a mixture. You always want a mixture of all the types, and of course you want the mixture of different types as well. So it's all fun and games. If everything is like if it used a lot of ranged units, but there's muskets, there's crossbows, and archers. If you're using those 3 types, that's still a good variety, but it's still too many ranged units. But if you're using all those 3 types along with the 3 types of infantry plus the 3 types of cavalry, everything's all fine and dandy. But we're in a very bad balance where it's just like all in on the new Glaive Cavalry, which is a special. We also have Liao's, which is also a special. They're quite distinct from each other, but again, they're cavalry units. It's all fine and dandy. It's all fine and dandy to have different cavalry units be important, but there's also a time when there's just like any lance cavalry is meta, and it's just like you just have lance cavalry. It doesn't even matter that the fact that they're cavalry. It's lance cavalry in particular is really annoying. Infantry as well. Too many shield units, really annoying. Too many pike units, really annoying. Too many swords and shield units, really annoying. Just in the end, cavalry, 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 infantry, 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 range, range, range. You want to have cavalry, infantry, range. You want all 3 of them to work together. We got to see some Shenjis out on the field. Really great. We got to see a good grenade throw, in fact, which was very nice and very impactful. Stopping killing dead a Winged Hussar charge. But I think the follow-up charge managed to get into the back line because the Winged Hussars weren't dead in this case. So there's that. Horse. Although... I don't know, monkey or horse. Probably horse. full RNG. Who plays better angles win. Oh, there's that too. Coming in from different angles. Again, Mask Flamesy. I do agree that, like, cavalry is, like, you throw cavalry at each other, it's like you're trading. But when you start throwing cavalry from different angles, it's a bit of RNG. Sometimes you'll win huge and get out scot-free. Sometimes you'll win badly and then you just continue to die. In this case, the attackers just did not have very many avenues to go in. It was just really, really terrible. Just really, really, really terrible. It's just like you can't go through. You can't go through that front gate or expect to just throw cavalry from one direction and expect to win. The defenders really just got to come from a different angle, avoiding most of the cavalry charge, and they win. They win basically all the time. Better meta ever, to be honest. Much skill. I would think that would be sarcastic if it wasn't coming out of your mouth. Full anarchy. I don't know how they won that. What do you mean? ECL winning their defense with just throwing cavalry at the attackers? I would be more surprised if CBL was able to win. I would be surprised if ECL manages to push CBL to the base. Because I think the same thing's going to happen here. CBL just going to throw infantry, it's going to throw their units, their cavalry units at ECL, and ECL's not going to be in a position to actually defend against it. And that's the worst thing about attackers right now, is that they can't defend against the artillery, they can't defend against the cavalry. It's very hard to gain an advantage against the defenders without without giving yourself time, without giving yourself a lot of benefits or benefit of the doubts. If the defenders are proactive, you're just going to be slapped. Yeah, 1 to ECL right now. The thing is that because CBL is the winners of the winners bracket, I do think that they're given 1 point by default, but I'll ask for clarification on that. Hey, your money's on ECL? I don't know, man. They got beaten by CBL on the field battle. If it comes down to a field battle, who knows then? Who knows then? I do think maybe on ECL's benefit, they did push CBL to the base point the last time they were attacking here. But right now, we're going to have the ECL attacking now. So if they win, and I'm not doubting that they can't, but I think their odds are against them. Defender's position is very strong. I'm just weirded out by some of the cavalry choices from CBL. Not enough Daggerak Lancers. Where are your Daggerak Lancers? Daggerak Lancers second to none in the charge category. Or, I mean, in the Lance Cavalry category, like, flexibility of the Daggerak Lancers is incredibly powerful. I do think Winged Hussars, however, are very powerful on the charge, but really, they have limited use cases in a mass of Yanyut Owls. Even Yanyut Owls could probably kill the Winged Hussars. Well, that's the thing. Like, Winged Hussars, sure, they can kill any cavalry on the charge, but I'm questioning on whether, like, I'm questioning whether or not the Yanyut Owls actually trade with the Hussars, because I've seen a lot of cases where the Yanyut Owls come face to face with Winged Hussars, and they don't exactly lose. No advantage? No advantage? Yay. Nice. No advantage? That's great. I hate the advantage. That advantage is so dumb. Okay, so it's a best of 7, no advantage, which is really good. That means it's an actual best of 7. Because officially it would be a best of 6, because there would be no scenario where you can actually get that 7th match. Best of 5? Damn it. Hang on, let me just... It probably is... No. Maybe it is best of 5. It was best of 5 yesterday. Hang on. There's an actual log here somewhere that tells me. Where is it? Nah, it's probably a best of 5. My bad. Best of 5. 7? Is it 7? Yeah, semifinals were a best of 5. Finals is normally a best of 7, but they didn't allocate more time for a best of 7. Whoa! Okay, that flame effect is the attire effect. We don't, like, whoever this person is following has the flame horse, but we get to see the same effect every time he's at max speed. He's right there, probably. I think it's really funny, but that hurts my eyes. That hurts my eyes. I don't know how anyone would play with that. That's really weird. Are those? Those look like Iron Cap swordsmen. Oh my god, change camera, please! I have no idea. I have no idea, man. You can take that however you will. Oh man. The degeneracy in my chat is increasing because of you, Brad. Thanks. Hey man, I know, right? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh my god. That flame effect. If it was less flashing, I think it should gradually increase the screen instead of flashing like that. That's so hard on the eyes. Paid to lose. That's what I would say. Pay to lose. Man, you're drunk. You're drunk. Go drink some water. Vomit in the toilet or something. You know what? Take a nap. How's that? Sleep off your alcohol. Get a hangover. So what the good thing here is that halberdiers are actually very difficult to get through. Though I will comment that John Rima, why do you put them in brace? Why do you put them in brace? Put them in phalanx. That's way stronger. I am disappointed that that you're not putting them in phalanx. One of the strongest formations in this game. Like the strongest formation in the game. You're like literally doubling your damage. Also, where is that longbow shooting from? I'm seeing longbow shots being fired on his halberdiers, but I don't think CBEL has any longbows. And the sad thing here is that ECL has to eventually go down. Like, that is inevitable. They will have to go down to the ground. That's painful to watch. They were CC immune, But because of how fire and the frightenous state works, your CC immunity locks you up. So like it's really strange because it's just like basically the frighten effect goes through CC immunity. That's basically what it is. I'm very surprised that CBEL actually decides to go be on the attack here. They're losing so much because they're walking into Halberdiers right now, and a big old Treb smashes right on top of that formation. Oop, comes back to the fire effect. Youchie, wow, wow. My eyes! Oh, friendly fire! Big old battle hitting it off in the back here. Heading off into the front as well. ECL does look like they have a massive superiority here. As long as they lock up the supply point, unable to get any more units, CBEL will probably struggle here. But look at the back line. They're gaining onto this supply point really heavily. The defenders at the A point are dropping like flies. There's not very many of them left. There's literally just a pike unit. Whoa, there goes Boogie. Now, if they move onto the supply point and go for that supply point, they're going to be pushed back. CBL is just getting absolutely rushed right now. No chance for CBL to pull out their cavalry. No chance. I think they can take it all the way home. I think they can take it all the way home. There's only 9 of them left. We got respawns coming in fast. But you can still outnumber them pretty easily. Oh man, and they're throwing straight into the crosshair section. Oh, no. Okay, a little bit of a turnaround now. CBEL will push out ECL on the attack of the base point. And see, like, right now, oh, maybe I spoke too soon. Lots of dead cavalry. Do mind. Lots of grape shots being used. This halberdier being on the side here is getting burnt up a little bit, but not really getting taken out. So this is really good for the defender. I mean, really good for the attackers right now. They're coming in from behind, in fact. We don't get to see that. Coming in from the front now. Only one halberdier unit. Can't face all the directions at the same time. Really needs to push ECL right out, but they're getting grape shot as they hop onto this point. There goes in some Daggereg Lancers straight into the pile that is going to come through. ECL is probably going to continue the attack with absolute advantage now, swinging into their favor, as most of the units here on the front for the defenders have just pulled out new units. The only problem is that there's only 7 attackers right now on the battlefield. And if I was the defenders, I would not give them any time to rest, allow them to gain their strength back. Cavalry are very fast, and they're all about continuous movement, keeping them on the move. Massive respawn there from the broken wall could spell death for those that did continue their assault. Unfortunately, the number of cavalry that were wasted by CBEL with the continued attack, unfortunate, because a lot of them just died. Lots of friendly fire as well. Cavalry moves so fast. Lots of artillery was used in the first section, but barely any from the defenders. The defenders are probably using artillery like crazy right now. A bit of a back and forth. CBEL's got to be really careful now, because if they send in their cavalry first, they're going to be in for a world of hurt. Now it is the infantry's job to get a foothold inside the enemy base. And once the enemy responds, the defenders in this case, now will be the time to send in the cavalry. Cavalry does make a mess. Huge man coming in from the back swing. Wow, there is quite a bit of a mess in the back section there. It is not looking good for the defenders. The defenders are just getting completely demolished as the back attack plus the frontal assault at the same time really left them scrambling to get a hold of themselves. Easily just dominating with the sheer number of artilleries being used by ECL right now. Getting grape shots from multiple different directions. There's no chance for CBL. That's if they get first pick. Man, that's going to be very upsetting. That's gotta hurt. Depends. There's another Pickman phase coming right up very shortly, and oh man, after that, I'd ban Yan Yudels. First thing I'd do, I'd ban Yan Yudels. My goodness. CBEL, very unfortunate there, but look how many Yan Yudel cavalry that first person took out. 35 Yan Yudel cavalry. Holy. That's almost 2 whole units of Yan Yudel. I don't know, man. I don't think CBEL was prepared for mass cavalry. That's the thing. Like, I don't even think it was a throw. I don't think CBEL is prepared for mass cavalry. For the rush, like, they have no contingency. ECL definitely has contingencies. They definitely know how to use their cavalry right now, and they know how to use it in siege very well. They're blitzing right through whatever defense that CBL puts down is not efficient enough. The Yanyadel cavalry just smashes right through it. And even when they're throwing cavalry at each other, it is just awful. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I think if they do a coordinated push, one of the things is that when you're chasing, you want to chase down a good number of the enemy team. In a scenario like that, I said like I like you listened back to my commentary. I said that if I was in that position, I would keep pushing. The big thing here is that I had cavalry out. I have a lot of cavalry out. Push, 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 because keeping that cavalry in reserve is useless. Once they're used, they have to get used up because you barely have any defense left. You need to keep the attackers or the enemy on their toes. And the best thing to do is keep hitting them when they're weak. And they were weak. The problem is that respawn comes in, hits you at the same time you're hitting them. So it's a trade. So in the end, you're just at a loss. You wouldn't be able to set up in time because they would have came in anyway. And honestly, you're not having a very strong defense position anyway. So unless there's a bait, you can't win. I think CBL, in regards to everything, CBL had like no shot of defending that base at all. At all, I think. Yes, you're chasing weak enemies. That's a good point. But you'll run into the fresh respawn anyway. And the hardest thing is that you know that some enemy, like, the thing here is that you know some enemies are weak and don't have units. And that's the most important thing. It's a numbers game. You're throwing your units at the newly fresh units in order to lock down the people that don't have units. But the problem is that, like, not enough committed. I don't even think if the whole team committed that they would have won. In the end, the fresh respawn from ECL was probably going to be too much. I'm going to time you out for 10 minutes, Bread. You are too drunk. And stop indulging him, jump, jump. You keep doing that, I'm going to also time you out. Oh my god, the degeneracy in this chat really increased with Bread being here. I see energy and I just you're the kind of person that just goes with the flow. Like you walk into a rave and you just start dancing even though you hate the song. Alright, I think there might be a short break. There's normally a break, probably about 5 minutes between the thing. So I'm gonna go for a 3 minute ad as well. I'm gonna grab some water. Let the man cook. I'm not entirely sure whether or not it's best of five. I couldn't find the information. There was like a they actually showed us how many best of five were. Anyway, I'll be back in 3 minutes. Yeah, I swear to God that there was somewhere here. Okay, A5 and A6 are both best of fives. So to clarify, it is a best of five. I found it where the article I found it was the schedule of House Legion League finals, and it just shows the it shows the finalist score rankings, double eliminations, and then finally at the bottom here it actually explains that A1 to A4 will be a best of three, A5 to A6 will be a best of five. Oh, okay. So we finally get to understand how the pick band thing works. Well, I mean, like I probably read this before, but I probably forgot. Attackers and defenders. The two squads roll a random number. The squad getting the biggest number wins and starts as the attackers. The two squads switch sides for the second match. So the one that gets the biggest number starts as the attacker. And how the pick ban starts is that the squad who lost bans first. And obviously the squad and then other person's bans another map, and they both choose at the same time. Pick ban as you've seen before. I already timed him out, seriously. Hi, Boba Fett. Hang on. Where's my timeout? Where's my timeout list? Where's my timeout list? Does that work on timeout? Oh, yeah, it does. What? Did I not spell his name right? Oh, he's called the bread... Okay, I got the username wrong. Man. Did that work? There we go. No bread for you. I didn't want any. I didn't want any. Thank Boba Fett. Why thank me? I'm the one that timed you out. If it wasn't for Boba, I wouldn't have untimed you out. You were only timed out for like, what, 5 minutes? No, I do not. I have a bowl. Empty bowl. Big love, big love. Still waiting. Oh, man. So you just came in, Bobo? You can be happy to know that ECL is 2-0 right now. CBL needs to win the next 2 matches. They need to win the next 2 matches to have a hope of coming down to a field battle. ECL just needs to win 1 more match. And I'll be honest, like, right now, whoo-wee, it's not looking good for them. The cavalry rush from ECL was too much from their attack, from their defense. Lots of cavalry. Who came? Who came? Obviously Bread here. Who won? Haven't been concluded just yet. Right now is 2-0. 2 for ECL, 0 for CBEL. And that's not looking good. That's definitely not looking good, because CBEL now has a tall task of winning 2 matches back to back in order to send it down to a field battle. ECL definitely been practicing, because they happen to go with a cav heavy strategy. Turned out really good for them, and seriously just bodying completely the CBL in their attack when they were attacking. Alrighty, right now we have the pick man phase. And straight off the bat, we have Kuruk Castle ban, Linwu Fortress ban, same ban's probably going to be a Bailu again. I mean, like, why wouldn't they have a White Elk Fort? That being said, yesterday it was Hidden City in their second set. So I'm not sure if there's a particular rule about Hidden City again. So I'm not sure if there's a particular rule you can't fight on the same map. So I'm kind of skeptical on what happened there, because okay, so I think if you can't attack on the same map twice, I think that's what's happening here. That makes sense, and it's nice. I do think that changing it up for Hidden City would be nice, but I mean, if ECL literally just bodies CBL again, but this time on Hidden City, that's going to be upsetting. Obviously, bans on the Yan Yudals. Fort Brashio ban, again, I'm kind of skeptical, because this case, actually, no, ECL gets the ban first, so banning the Fort Brashio pikemen means means that CBL has to ban Yan Yudals. What will they safe pick, though? I mean, do they want I mean, like, anti-cavalry-wise, none of them are really good, but Mandao would probably be your best choice. I don't think I would safe pick camels. Camels are very limited in usage, and also gets completely destroyed by fire. They do safe pick the Mandaus. Am I surprised? Not really.
Is it a waste of a safe pick? No, I don't think so. Um, ECL probably wants to use a lot of cavalry, and I think this could be a big bait as well from ECL, like a big bait. The Medals are not very good. I'll tell you right now, they're not very good. If the monks are out on the field, the monks are going to kill them. If, like, shield maidens will kill them as well. The Medals are not really a good go-to. Um, they're not very proficient against cavalry. You could still probably charge through 2 Liaos or 2 Daggeric Lancers and just smash through them. It's not a bad safe. Wait, nah, it's a bad safe? Really? What would you save? You already banned the Yan Yudao cavalry. Do you need a safe pick on any of the pike units? The Yan Yudao cavalry is just weird. Okay, that's true, but it's just... Let's be real here. Medals have massive damage resistance, sure. They don't have a lot of damage. And I'll tell you right now, it's not a lot of damage. If the Fortebrachos are dealing like 6, 7, 8,000 damage to cavalry, the Medals are doing like 3. Maybe 3 to 2. I mean, not 3 to 2, 3 to 5. That's not a lot of damage. Not to mention, the Medals only hit one target. They have a lower limit. Bans on the Metallators, ban on the Crescent Monks. Still could just destroy the siege towers completely. Could see a climb out. We did see a climb from BODS last time, so that was not a surprise, but still. Well, this is the thing. ECL had first ban. First ban from ECL. They banned Fortebrachos first. So in this scenario, what would you safe pick? You have to ban Yan Yudels because Fortebrachos got taken out. I mean, like, I would definitely ban Yan Yudels if Fortebrachos are not on the table. I would go on with more cavalry. I would, like, instead of safe picking a pike unit, I would ban all the cavalry. I would ban Yan Yudels, Liaos, and Daggerac Lancers. That only leaves Winged Hussars and Cataphracts as really the threatening cavalry, both of which are actually susceptible to halberdiers. You can flood your entire army with the blue halberdiers and you're safe. You have blue halberdiers just fill up empty spaces. They're good against infantry as well, so they're not terrible. Would I go for the halberdier sergeants? Only if it was like only if I had to, or it was more efficient to. Not really the purple unit you want to go for, because I'll be honest with you, very similar damage. Only penetration is being the main difference, so higher armor stuff, of course, you'll struggle against Cataphracts a little bit more than the Winged Hussars, but in the end, they'll still do their job. A safe pick on the Medals just seemed counterintuitive, because it also kind of predicts that CBEL will rely more on the Halberdiers. Sorry, will rely more on the Medals in order to do most of their cavalry. But a lot of times, the pikemans are right at front. Like, right at the front. If I was CBEL, I would try to end this on the wall, if I'm predicting a cavalry rush from ECL again. I would go super wall heavy, defend that with your life, destroy the trebs, let all the siege towers get up. If I can help it, destroy the siege towers as well. Great. But I would destroy all of the trebs. And this case, ECL would probably use mortars. Probably hide on the stairs or hide behind the building. You're probably safe for the most part. Still. I just think it's just going to be very hard for both sides, depending on what they're going for. I mean, I think ECL is going for another cav rush. CBEL definitely can't afford another cav trade out because they lost the last time. I probably would have banned more cav. I would have banned more cav. The monks can be dealt with. Metallators maybe would have banned that, but at the end of the day as well, I mean, like, The Shenji Grenadiers are very powerful. Like, I can understand why they get banned. And Hidden City is kind of like a long lane map, so having the Shenji Grenadiers available for either side would be very dangerous. Siphonari is being taken out. Again, it's just always just been kind of like a staple. Either the Siphonaries and the Metallators both get banned out. Oh, that's where I agree. I mean, if you walk straight into the Flamers, yeah. The Flames don't really care what they're hitting. They will CC your ass and basically murder it. Hi, Dimas. You think so? Don't forget that if they saved Flamers, they would also have to face it. I mean, that's a pretty good strategy. Halberdiers also kill heroes really fast. Anyone jumped into a Halberdier pile can already tell you that you die instantly. I'm pretty much the only English commentator, probably. Actually, no. I mean, I checked the contents creator list. I'm the only English commentator. There's actually we got two. We actually have two El Spaniels. Hey, maybe it's because it's in the time zone of Asia. So I do realize that my game's actually got a lot of content creators, like at least 2 dozen. But Rima, we have John Rima in ECL. He's the only one that I recognize playing. That's from Rising Phoenix. And hi Azura, I haven't seen you in a while. A Warrior. I don't doubt there's going to be more Shield Maidens. I think ECL probably has more probably going to have more Shield Maidens available. Probably, Abby. I don't doubt ECL's going to try for the championship, and I don't think it's going to be very hard. They're already 2-0. 2-0. They only need to win one more match. One more match, ECL becomes our champion. I don't think that's hard. EZL. Oh, you're moving, Azura. Congratulations. Did you go to well, do you have your own house now? I don't know. I don't know. I don't keep up socializing either. Oh, coming to Oz. I mean, like I don't go to Melbourne often. I hear it's a okay place. It's like any other city you've been to. Never come to Perth. Perth is boring. Hey man, then hope ECL wins. You better damn hope. Obi-Wan Kenobi. The unfortunate thing is that a couple of the Chinese streamers are saying that this is going to replace CBL. We're not going to get a summer CBL. I've been told, or it's going to rotate, which I've heard some claims that it might be rotating. So we'll have summer and winter CBLs, and then we'll have House Legion leagues every other season. Yeah, and how boring was that? Perth is a boring place, I'll tell you right now. Chevaliers not being banned means that ECL is using Chevaliers. Not to mention CBL is also using Chevaliers. Man, I didn't consider Chevaliers for some reason. It's 2-0 right now for ECL. ECL is attacking first. Lots of shield maidens from CBL. A little bit more shield maidens than I expected, actually, from CBL compared to ECL, which doesn't actually have that many shield maidens. I thought shield maidens would be a very, 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 very high pick for ECL. But the medals for both sides is actually kind of surprising. I wouldn't choose medals. I wouldn't choose medals. I would bring more halberdiers. Probably just going to be a standard setup. I do see a couple of guys here on the left hand side. I don't think the front gate is as important, but you also have to remember that the left hand side, um, so on our right here, bottom below us of the camera, that is, the supply point is actually open. That supply point is open. So you could go through the front gate, take that supply point, and then just beat every single defender one by one as they can't get resupply. I mean, actually, no. The resupply there on the right here would probably still be available for the defenders. So that's a bit difficult, actually. But you can do a very stubborn push if you went that way. Rain will probably... I feel like Rain has been ranking top of the ECL leaderboard quite a bit. Not that I actually look at the leaderboard too much. I'm kind of surprised that being here on the Hidden City, I'm kind of surprised at how the quality increase of the artillery has really messed with kind of how... Okay, I'll tell you right now. The siege towers got buffed, particularly because it was very difficult to get the siege towers up on the wall because the defenders kept destroying them. You added more artillery, plus the artillery quality has been increased. Siege towers are now going to have twice as much trouble getting to the walls. And again, like, even before people started using Matalators, like, we used to play, we used to see a lot of Harbor City matches. A lot of Harbor City matches. No one used Matalators to take down the siege towers. They literally just used their artillery to destroy it, because you could destroy a siege tower with one blue culverin. You could probably still kill a siege tower with one blue culverin. But being slightly more health means that you have to use either more ammo from that blue culverin, or maybe you have to use a second one. But right now, it's like the rate at which they're using artillery to destroy the siege towers right now is really low. Like, really low. They went through... I don't know how many ECL has destroyed right now, but they've destroyed quite a few. And I'm not even joking, like, quite a few. I think I've seen 3 artilleries get destroyed. And only 13 artilleries have been used by the defenders. They still have 12 artilleries. You could easily destroy the next 4 siege towers with that. Easily. Maybe 6. Nah, definitely 6. 1 hit left for this guy. Gonna get destroyed. Another artillery being deployed. We could play this entire battle and not a single person, not a single unit fights each other. That's the sad thing. Yeah, artillery, like, legendary artillery being used I'm wondering whether or not CBL use any artillery to destroy the Trebs, because I haven't seen any Trebs, really. Very, like, very seldomly have I seen a Treb fireball come through. If at any at all. Might go through the front gate, but it's just Medals. Medals and Halberdiers. I saw a Halberdier earlier. Oh, where's the Halberdier? They let one side through. They're going to have to patch up that hole. Shield Maiden's decimating that front right now. Halberdier's not going to last very long. Both sides now get completely broken through. CBL defense of the front gate completely buckles. Literally slaughtering their way straight to that supply point right now. The Shield Maidens are on a massacre. The Sacrificial Cavalry, whatever, blasting through that defense right now. CBL cannot pull units right now as they're getting attacked on the supply point right now. They're completely outnumbered. Unit-wise, they just lost an entire Shield Maiden just in there. CBL just lost all of their effort holding the A point. They're gonna lose the B point as well at this rate. Coming in with cavalry, this pike unit's got to be very careful. That is Shield Maidens do mine. They actually do really well against cavalry. But they made a massive dent into that pile, though. I think 1.5 Shield Maidens just died there. I think the Shield Maidens that still there is probably like half squads. A point now getting capped. But none of the siege towers are up on the wall. Surprisingly, none of the siege towers are up on the wall. We have CBL actually sallying out with cavalry in order to stop the siege towers. Finally, some heroes get onto the point. We got a climb by Toothless here. Oh my god, that is painful. The Trebs do hit that Medal pretty hard. Could kill the Shield Maidens here. The Shield Maidens are useless without their commander. That's a dead unit right there. Could see a good Treb. Going through the front gate again. Not very many people from CBL there right now. The Stalwart's just sitting there and taking it. Ouch. That's gotta be painful. I would just swap out a new unit. No point waiting for a heal. Doing the, like, you're already too late. The big thing here is you're already too late. You're getting shot, so the Medals are going to slowly die, but you do kill out all of the Chevaliers there. Surprisingly, the Medals took most of the damage, but they managed to kill off that entire unit. Oh man, that is brutal right now. Going for the A point in this situation, you're losing more units than the defenders. You already used a lot of your cavalry, and you've got a lot of pikemen in the mix. Winged Hussars just go straight through. Did probably a bit of damage to the Medals. The Medals are still holding strong. Imperial Pike Guard versus Imperial Pike Guard. It's going to take forever for that fight to end. Shield Maidens in the mix probably help, but... Oh, man, that Treb on the backside. Very successful, I would say. But they trapped a whole bunch of units here. 2 squads of what I think was Imperial Spear Guards. Being very desperate here for ECL, and CBL doing a nice job at a desperate defense as well. The good thing here is that 2 minutes to go. I do think that there is a bit of unit superiority coming in for ECL, but they don't have time. They don't have time at all. I'm actually kind of surprised about the unit superiority here. The number of tier 4s coming out for ECL is a lot higher than what I expected. Although the unit difference is only around about 100 in retrospect for between the high tier units. ECL putting down a lot of artillery as they're kind of rocking up towards this A point. Really good. Will CBL do a desperate defense? I think no. I think they should let. I think they should just buy time for the A while dealing as much damage as they possibly can, while not sacrificing any more infantry. Because the important thing here is that once they're on the ground, all of these halberdiers are going to be a very big problem for them. But they're going for a desperate defense. Which is actually kind of amazing how much time they've actually gotten. Another 30 seconds. Every 5 seconds on top of this point is huge. And these axe raiders do not fall easily. Oh my god, they actually threw 2 more short swords into this. That's... Oh my god, Thunderstruck works so well! Iron Reapers get there as well. They'll eat through the halberdiers 1-to-1. They might actually... They're gonna succeed! No way. That was... Ooh-wee. Oh, that must have been painful. That must have been painful. Holy cow. Okay, so defensive-wise, the short swords worked out super well. I was surprised that the halberdiers didn't just one-shot those 2 short swords. The 2 short swords coming in, both on either side, double Thunderstruck. I was so surprised how much damage that did as well. Because almost an entire, like, I'm pretty sure there were like 2 halberdier units. One of the halberdier units basically dropped. And then a Iron Reaper came up, barely reaching before both of the short swords got scared off. And wow, how much time that those 2 short swords got. Amazing, because there was 25 seconds left on the clock. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think you're right about that, Chris. Fighting on the ground after all of the artillery spent destroying the towers, ending it there worked out so amazing for them. There's a lot of times where I see desperate defenses where you have no units on that point. The point is very tight, and you throw heroes at it, and it's unsuccessful. But because of the amount of time left, how much time, like 25 seconds left. You might not think that's a lot of time, but the point was almost capped as well. So it would take maybe 3 seconds for it to cap. You would need to buy 22 seconds of time. But the 2 short swords alone already bought more than 15 seconds worth of time, and then the units rocked up. I was surprised where ECL was. The rest of ECL should have rocked up onto that point in order to secure it. So I'm wondering whether or not there was something happening on the left-hand side I didn't get to see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Lots of short swords. I mean, look how many short swords CBL brought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Almost half their team were short swords. Almost half their team was short swords. And I'm not surprised here that a desperate defense with that many short swords actually worked out. I'm just a little bit disappointed with how slow the halberdiers were at taking out the infantry. Like, the halberdiers took way too long at killing the axe raiders. Well, killing the axe raiders, basically. Oh, you might be right there. With the siege towers being continually destroyed, they only got the siege tower on the left-hand side at some point. means that ECL didn't actually have any reinforcements. So whatever they had on that A point was probably everything. Probably. Anything that respawned as well was probably getting charged by cavalry. Which I wouldn't be surprised because I saw the Winged Hussars and the Chevaliers move out through the front gate for CBEL. It was a very impressive... I mean, it was a very intense fight, I would say. I think ECL second push really died. The first push was super strong, get in there, but on the flip side, unable to get the supply point means that they couldn't splash in. I mean, they couldn't respawn in more units, so they get that big hang. The defenders respawn in, kill off the attackers, switch around, kill off the rest. So, hey, he was third place, top ranker probably from ECL. He's in the top. I'm pretty sure. Rain. I'm pretty sure I hear a lot of people say Rain's just really, really good. I mean, like, I'm of the opinion to believe that with a score like this, but a lot of times when I see a lot of MVPs, it's a little bit of skill and a little bit of opportunity. Sometimes the team has to set up for those people to really pop off. Otherwise, you're taking advantage of a weak team. That is the opponent, I mean. Sometimes the opponents can be really stupid, and you're on the flanks just eating up all of the units. But if you're on the front line a lot, you're gonna take a lot of hits. You're going to take a lot more damage than you can deal back. But if Rain is a good tank, maybe I can't directly tell you what gameplay I've seen of him, since I'm not watching that closely of individual players throughout the match. Hi, Riximus. How are you doing? You come here to support John Rima? They're one victory away from championship right now. They're one victory away. 2-1 right now. CBEL might make a comeback here on Hidden City. And I doubt either team is going to give up without a fight. Hidden City is probably a good shake-up as well. A lot of White Elk Fort has been really bad, I would say, for like, well, Hidden City, I mean, not Hidden City. White Elk Fort was really bad for CBL just before. Cavalry cannot deal with it. I love Ohama. I have no idea what that is. Let's go! I really do hope that ECL wins, mainly because is that they've been in quite a few CBELs, and I mean, like, I do like CBEL, but because John Rima's here, I need to go for CBEL because of John Rima. Easy. I'm gonna quickly grab some more water. Hopefully, it doesn't start without me. Let's go. I can't think of a chant that goes well with anything that I know. Let's go, ECL. Nah, that doesn't work. ECL, let's go. Let's go, ECL, let's go. Nah, that doesn't work either. Now, I don't know how to make a chant. It's coming home, it's coming home. I have no idea. Is that a chant? I don't know. It's coming home, it's coming home. That doesn't sound like a chant. Or maybe I'm just not doing the right tune. Oh, man. Give your prediction about the next game. My prediction about the next game? Honestly, I think ECL is probably going to run into the exact same problem. This is the thing. Like, most of it is just the repeat. So majority of it's going to be a repeat. So ECL probably going to destroy the siege tower. Is going to force a fight on the wall. But CBEL will probably try something else. And I think this is what's going to make them different. Is they're going to get units up onto the wall first, and that's probably why I think CBEL won't go through the front gate, because they know that's a death trap. They know it won't work. So I think they're going to sacrifice some units up on the wall as they push the siege towers. Probably sacrifice some heroes as well. They have short swords out the wazoo, so those guys can go for the artillery and buy time as much as possible. Destroy those artilleries on the wall, or get superiority up on the wall. That way, the attackers will be the defenders will be busy trying to deal with them. So obviously, still a lot of shield maidens from both sides. So many Daggerette Lancers coming out from ECL here. Not very much cavalry from CBEL, as expected for an attacker. Really, 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 really betting on the fact that they're going to have a tough fight here on the wall. But this could backfire for ECL if they don't fight on the ground. That doesn't matter, though, because they might give up A. There's been a lot of cases where A has been given up for Hidden City. Could go for a B. I think ECL, now looking at the unit selection, gonna give up the wall, destroy the siege towers a bit, waste time, fall back to B, kill on to CBEL every time they go for the B point. 100%. I'm Makuka. So we have one CBL supporter here. So I was right. Left-hand side, though, I thought they might have gone for the right-hand side. Massive climb coming out. One shield maiden here. Could be trebbed before the main force get up there. I would treb it. If CBL wins, we riot. Really? I don't think... If they win, I'm glad. If ECL wins, I'll be even gladder. Shield Maiden should have... Whoa, what happened there? Kazuyo, what did you do? You had that on lockdown, right? What happened? Kazuyo, he probably died. I cannot believe the Varangian guards just absolutely murdered that Shield Maiden. They're not even using skills, they're just using basic attack, plus their special. Okay, a bit of a rush here on this side. Shield Maiden just walking straight into a double Shield Maiden pile. Probably the worst thing you can do. But yes, this is what I expected. Oh my god, Thunderstruck. I am surprised he is alive. The short swords might die now. Oh no, he's too far away. The Shield Maidens are going to get massacred. Left-hand siege tower actually makes it to the wall. Oh, friendly fire. Massive friendly fire there. That's going to hurt them a lot. Pushes straight on. Oh my god. Cavalry comes out through the front gate here. The tail here is going to be very bad. I did not see these two medalls. These two medalls climbed up here on the right-hand wall. Their focus was on the left-hand wall so much. This is a good squeeze, but medalls are no good against the halberdiers because they output more damage. It doesn't matter. Varangian guards, they're sandwiched. This halberdier is going to fall like piecemeal. Rear line is getting caught right now. But it doesn't really matter. They're going to probably get pushed out anyway, so... Really? How much health did you have? You had, like, no health. I did not see that... Was that a tertial? That looks like a Shenji, actually. No, that's a tertial. That's a tertial. The sign is a tertial. Oh my god. One siege tower up on the wall. Climb on the left-hand side. Big, massive push by CBL. There's been very few ladder climbs that has been successful. I blame Kazuyo. Kazuyo, I used to play with Kazuyo a really long time ago. He's an offshoot from AOL. He's also from Rising Phoenix, but from a really, really long time ago. I blame you, Kazuyo. If you're watching this, what happened? Tell me what happened. You had your shield maidens there, but they just got eaten up as if you fell off. Alright, calm down right now. We have shield maidens here at the front, just getting absolutely trampled by cavalry right now. Turning the corner straight in. Iron Reapers there, also going to get annihilated. This is where I think CBL makes a big mistake. Big mistake. Where is your artillery? Like, going in like this, running straight into that cavalry, you had a massive advantage. Now it's disappearing, evaporating into the ether right now. You need to calm down, reset, and establish ground right now. You can't afford to go straight through the front gate. You're gonna get hit from both sides. Damn it, no signal. What is this no signal nonsense? Poor bloke already feeling bad. I'm surprised that Chevalier is doing very well. Medal's as well, they're doing okay. The scary part now is push the siege towers, man. Like, you have 8 minutes. You have 8 minutes 40 seconds. Climb the wall, put artillery down, shoot towards the supply point. There are heavily fortified positions there at the front. You need to draw out the defenders and just arty them down. You have tertials as well. Shoot them. There are very few shield maidens left alive. They have Imperial Spear Guards as well. Fine. Nani? Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? Am I streaming this from a satellite? Oh my god. Friendly fire on the treb here. You can't afford to have Kazuyo! Again! What are you doing? My man, Kazuyo. I don't know what's going through your head right now, but like... My man, like... Maybe you were setting up for the arty? That's what you were doing? Like, I'm not sure how many arty hits there, either. So getting another siege tower up on the wall, great. Get some more guys up on the wall. Get some artillery down, my man. My man, there's some flying crows. Excellent. Flying crows are terrifying. Divine crows. Absolutely terrifying. Now it's going to be a bit of an arty fight, because I'm kind of surprised at how even the fight there on the front gate was. The front gate was a lot more even than I thought it would be. ECL is a bit spread out, but once CBEL chooses an avenue, they're going to probably have to force a fight. Honestly, right now, I would probably sacrifice 1 or 2 CBELs and take the supply points. Because it looks like ECL is a full-on retreat right now. Also, who's controlling this Imperial Spear Guard? He is like halfway across down that stairs already. I'll be honest, probably a bad move from ECL giving up this ground. It means that there's less space to dodge when they're going to get artied. They have their own arty, so maybe they're baiting in the attackers to be in a spot where they can arty back. Maybe? But now you're going to have to fight inside the city. They're probably expecting a better fight because they think they can take CBL directly. A lot of arty was used, don't mind that. Like it was 10 plus arty coming out from CBL, but they still have 22 arty. 12 arty for ECL. This is a fascinating defense. I've never seen a defense like this, mostly because we don't see very many battles here on Hidden City. Oh my god! How many artillery just got placed there? If ECL pushes through here, they're going to be really stupid. They don't! Oh my god, yes! First time someone actually is intelligent, but it's a double setup. It's a double setup. So either the left or the right side is a no-go. ECL already predicts this. They're swinging so hard right now, all the way across to the east side. Gong goes in for an intercept here in the tail line. Is this a good move? He's only got a token force. The Treb lands directly on the Retiari in the back. Medals and Imperial Spear Guards at the front. But it's Medals and Imperial Spear Guards at the front as well. We got Daggerac Lancers going to charge through, but it's mostly Medals. That's going to be ineffective. Right now, ECL is doing really badly in this fight. Daggerac Lancers not even Daggerac Lancers. Those are Liao's comes in from the side there. Gong leading the attack. Oh my goodness. Was that a good strategy? I have no idea, but CBEL takes the opportunity, bursts right through that intersection right now. Loses out a couple of guys there on the east side, but that's fine. That's fine. CBL kind of checking, kind of scouting the base. They got a guy there. They're delaying. They're waiting. Oh my god, if they don't go straight to base, they go straight in. It's a fight for the finish right now. Right from the get-go. More artillery is available for CBEL. Get some grape shots down. They didn't resupply their artillery, did they? They forgot. They forgot. Big hit! I don't know where that came from. Whatever arty just eliminated that front line right now. Double Imperial Spear Guard. We got 1, 2, 3 Divine Crows there at the front. That's a legendary Divine Crow. Gets destroyed. 2 other Divine Crows right there as well. Oh, big hit from the Treb. Takes out most of those Imperial Spear Guard. We got some Daggerac Lancers swinging on through. Skull probably finishes off this stalwart here. CBEL would probably want to reset right now. They have plenty of time. 5 whole minutes. 5 whole minutes for a reset. Very few artillery left for ECL. 4 artillery left. They're going to make it count. Yeah, they need some cav, but they wasted so much cav on that intersection. On Gong. Like, Gong fought. I think 2 cabs were fighting with him. They still have plenty of Daggerac Lancers right now. But here's the thing. I think most of the Badals are dead. So I think ECL has a better chance of defending if they have more cavalry. 100%. 100% bet right now. It's going to come down to ECL's cavalry. If those cavalry do not get killed by the halberdier or the medal, they win. 100% bet. 100% bet right now. The numbers are really close. The numbers are really close, especially for the high tier stuff. They have plenty of artillery, but the artillery is not going to be very effective once the cavalry starts getting going. They only have around about another minute of good arty left to go. They need to get some close range arty. Get something like a Hawatcha down. Get something like a grape shot down. Those are less collateral, more damage focused onto certain areas. You get a bunch of Hawatchas down in a row, you can gun down an entire cavalry unit charging at you. Yeah, one push left for both sides, actually. I don't think the defense can hold with just... That is very upsetting. You can roll out of that. Alright, the attack has started. Imperial Spear Guard takes the front, but in formation this time. I love seeing formation. Unfortunately, they're very weak. Half token of Daggerrack Lancers comes in from both sides. A Treb lands directly on top of the Daggerrack Lancers, killing off the entire unit. Holy crap! But the Halberdier unit will probably stop that in its entirety. Right now, ECL is getting killed one after another. Holy shit. There is literally just a Imperial Spear Guard, and I think the guy is dead, left on the field right now. Holy sh... Okay, I kind of overestimated how many Daggerrack Lancers they had. From what it looked like, they actually only had one whole unit of Daggerrack Lancers. The other two units were half squads. But that Treb lands directly on the Daggerrack Lancers as they were charging through. And then a Daggerrack Lance coming through for CBL just sideswipes them into oblivion. I'm just like, holy cow. It's 2-2. It does come down to a field battle right now, and that is amazing. CBL, not going down without a fight. Definitely wants the championship. ECL, definitely want the championship. Did you see the amount of artillery coming out from ECL? They didn't even care if they were getting Treb. They were putting down those arties. They were putting fire into the enemy. But my goodness, how that ended up in the end. Tragedy struck hard. No bombards, though. No bombards. It's going to be... The tension for the final game is going to be super high. This is probably the first time I have ever been at a finals that it comes down to a field battle. Legit. A finals where it comes down to a field battle. Nearly every other finals have never had a field battle. First of all, because because one side had an extra point. But this time, oh my goodness, this time is different. Oh, Mask Flame Z, what did you send me? Oh, Flamers, yeah. Gonna watch this real quick. Mask Flame Me sent me a Flamer video, I think. I wouldn't be surprised. The Flames lock up the cavalry really well. I mean, it's mostly the CC, much less the damage, that the Flamers are really powerful. But then again, high hit limit, 900 damage. It's either 900 or 800 damage they deal. Tons. Oh, but you're getting hit by... You got hit by javelins. That's very unfortunate. Oh, and it's a nice tight hole. 600 damage in this case. Oh, those winged assaults got very close to you. I think the Madao here really did a good job there. I think the Flamers there did a really good job as well, but being protected as well did 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 a really good setup there for that one. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. Man, you're just as bad as Bread. Where's Bread? Get your mind out of the gutter, Bread. I mean, Oryx. Oryxicus. Get your mind out of the gutter. Alright, I'll be back. I'm gonna grab some chocolate. I'm not sponsored by Kinders, and I am fat. Nom, nom, nom. Kinder's Buenos are delicious. So another break is probably happening right now. We'll probably get to see the battle start at probably 10 o'clock. Though I didn't expect this. Nearly none of the finals have actually lasted this long. Previously, if it was a best of 5, they would have allocated 2 hours. Since the finals is normally a best of 7, they allocate 3 hours for this. Every set is about an hour, and well, every 2 games is 1 set. Sorry, and they normally allocate an hour for that. Previously, when games were a bit longer, we would run overtime so much. Like like 2 games alone would be like 25 minutes sometimes, especially on the longer maps. Constantinopolis and Angolia has this problem like a lot. And even if the intermission time was as short as possible, the intermission time was still 2-3 minutes. Could be up to 5 minutes sometimes. And that's not even including the field battle. There was this one night where overtime was so long that I started at 8. I started at 8 p.m. I didn't stop streaming until 11. It was like 11:20 by the time, because what happened was that we had 2 battles plus a field battle, 2 battles again plus a field battle. So it was just a long ass night with with one team actually having players almost going to bed because it took so long for their battle to start. That was pretty intense. So I can see why they kind of shifted to kind of some of the shorter maps and kind of reduced the time, because I think none of the maps actually have none of the newer maps anyway don't have a time longer than 20 odd minutes. Normally it starts off at like 12 minutes with each point gaining an additional 2 or 3. And normally there's only 3 points, so it's got the A, you got the B, and you got the base point. So normally what would happen would be starts off with 12, gain 3 minutes, goes for 15 minutes, gain another 3 minutes, so that's 18 minutes. So it's actually short, pretty short. But I think Heilong Fjord is actually a pretty short map as well, because even though it's got 3 points plus an additional one, the additional one only adds 1 minute, and the other 3 points only add 2 minutes, and so you end up starting off with I think 14 minutes. I think it's a 14-minute start or a 12-minute start, and so you only gain an additional 6 minutes plus the additional minute from the harbor, and so it's a 21-minute map. But Angolia, it's freakishly long. It's freakishly long because it has the most number of points is the first thing. It has an A, B, C, and D point plus the base point. And so each of the points, I think you start off with another 14-minute start. Each of the points gains you additional 3 minutes, I think, or maybe 2. But even if it was 2 minutes, that's an additional 8 minutes. So the map actually is a pretty long one for 22 minutes. For it could be as short as 22 minutes, but I think it goes on a bit longer. Algolia maps that is. Constantinopolis is actually pretty long as well. You would be surprised because, well, it feels very long. I think it's a 12-minute start, this one. But each of the point gains 3 minutes because there's a lot of times where you'll hold up in the C point for like 20 minutes. And then they get the C point and it's another 3 minutes of fighting. Oh. Well, at least with this long intermission, we can kind of calm down our nerves here. Well, at least for me. I want to calm down my nerves. Yeah, a little talk as well. Hashtag Slayer. What the fuck did I get? I don't understand that phrase, actually. What do you mean by get strapped? Do you mean if they win? Title belt. Lol, yeah, if they win. Alright. Well, I think that a lot of people here hope that ECL wins. In particular, I hope John Rima wins. Um, I was actually very surprised that ECL made such a big, big comeback. It was a two. It was a 2-0, only for it to be flipped to become 2-2, and we actually do end up getting a grassland assault, a field battle tiebreaker for the finals. Nothing is more intense is when you're here on the tiebreaker field battle. In my opinion, the field battle type is so intense because any strategic failure leads to a drastic change in situation. And there is a lot of times where teams fight against each other and they come to a standstill, goes for a stalemate. Like both sides basically kill each other until there's like one guy left. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, Erixus. It doesn't really I'm not sure how you can support ECL in this case. Send them your energy. I've seen a lot of those hand wavy motions with like ECL take my energy or something. It was a long time ago, but I mean, like, I don't think anyone has those things anymore. And I mean, like, I find them very cute. Some like in the texting instead of just like emojis, they're just like weird, like they're scribbly line things. I'm not sure how to explain it, but it's really exciting. It's really exciting that we're going to get a field battle here. It's probably going to be another 4 minutes, probably another 3. I'm expecting it to start at 10. But if the actual battle starts at 10, that means it'll probably be 3 minutes delay, so it'll be like 10:03 for us. Ha! There we go! ECL, take my energy! Oh, that's really cute. And the small tiger is just like, CBL! Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I wish I had my Twitch chat thing now, so you can see it on stream. Nah, they're too busy gaming, man. They're too busy gaming. Don't need no holes when I'm winning. Or trying to win. Because we still don't know who the winner's going to be. And field battle is notorious. Absolutely notorious. Cavalry is king. Cavalry is king. Because there's no pick bans, so there's no. I don't think there's a pick ban for field battles. So anything goes. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of Yanyu Daos. I think CBL, if Yanyu Daos are available, they're going to be at a disadvantage. Wait. Oh, okay, wait. CBL was attacking last one, right? Yes. So CBL was attacking last, so they did win. They did win their defense on the second set. And so we're here. Well, we're still here, so we haven't left yet. On the very, 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 very final battle for the House Legion League. And it has started. Oh my god. Now, this is the very finals. CBL. Strangely enough, no Yanyu Daos. I'm not sure why there's no Yanyu Daos, but if I go off the carry-on clause, or, I mean, I'm making up rules here, I think that the last ban pick phase, the bans are being used for the field battle, so no Yanyu Daos, no monks, no flamers, no metallators, no Fort of Russios. Oh my god, no Fort of Russios! Okay, so a lot of medals, a lot of camels. Whew. CBEL, a lot of short swords. I've said this before. A lot of armor, a lot of short sword. The killing power is really low. The caveat being that it's actually really hard being medium armor right now. Heavy armor has more damage and more tankiness. That's true for medium armor, more damage, more tankiness. But the thing about heavy armor is that because they start off higher, you think that they're like it was more difficult to get more armor. No. They get even more armor on top of medium and light armor, means that their tankiness goes through the roof comparatively. So it's like if medium armor gets like 100 defense, heavy armors get like 150. Alright, we start off with a super aggressive push coming out from ECL probably, and they're going straight for the C point. Got a token force going for the A point, and the B point actually gets shaken off. Liao's move towards the C point, but with the A point getting secured now, could see a solid defense coming out from, C point might get capped here. Wait, hang on, CBL actually is the one doing a super aggressive push. I take this back. ECL taking a very standard push right now. They're playing safe. This is going to backfire for ECL really heavily. I mean, CBEL really heavily in 2 seconds. Wait, hang on. ECL, no, it is ECL. I am so sorry for the confusion right now. ECL goes in for a massive, staggering push towards the B point just now. Absolutely decimating that Medal's in mere seconds. Chevaliers comes up from the rear though, clears out, plus with a couple of Medal's as well, cleans up quite a section of that cavalry force. ECL takes a hard L though. Fortified position being super strong right now. We also got some nice artillery being placed down on this field battle. You can use 2 artillery, so I expect a lot of artillery to be used by both sides. I wouldn't want to stay here. I'll be honest with you. I would not want to stay here if I was CBEL. I would get out of there. We got a person up on the cliffside, literally firing straight down on top of you. I'll be honest with you, not a very good start for ECL right now, but a little bit of drag back with a couple of artillery shots, some nice placed artillery shots directly onto one of the Chevaliers. Oh man, killing off that entire ranged unit was probably much better than killing off the actual cavalry itself. You can have like 1 Chevalier, but you have the entire archer unit. That entire archer unit is way more worth it than even having that entire cavalry unit. Now, the hard thing here is that even though CBEL has an advantage, when push comes to shove, whoever has more points wins. So, ECL's got a really, long-range ballista one-shot, getting clapped from, I don't know how far away, from, like, it's off-screen, like, it's on the left here. And it comes in off screen from here to here, and it's just like, oh man, there's all the ballistas. Both sides are playing the long game, but here CBEL is a bit more in a forward position. It takes longer for them to resupply their units. Those mortars can get some distance though. Behind here, very, very safe. He's probably trying to get some good angles here. Coming. I got food. But camels here. I'm going to be really quick. Alrighty, hopefully I didn't miss anything. No funny business. I'll let my noodles cool down and eat them after the show. We only have 7 minutes to go! ECL only needs to hold on to the B point for 7 minutes. The good thing here is that they got a lot of camels, really good against cavalry units, and they take a while to kill. I'm eating some kind of beef noodle soup. So it's like chicken stock with beef and noodles. Oh, also my dad's own hoisin sauce. It's basically like fermented hoisin sauce, so it's it's much more spicier than the regular stuff. You would need like a liter of that stuff compared to my dad's hoisin sauce. Oh, he likes cooking. He definitely likes cooking. But it's also because like the fermented stuff doesn't keep. Like it doesn't keep. It goes off. It goes off in like a week. Like once he makes it, he has to use it within like a week. Otherwise, he has to throw it out. So I'm guessing like the regular hoisin stuff has lots of preservatives in it that probably weakens the taste. Or you can't have an intense flavor because of that. ECL would be getting anxious. I would be getting anxious. I'm anxious for them. The the thing is that when you're like you took a hard L. Like you tried to get that B point. You're also I would say you're also in the kind of okay, so as fair as grassland assault might seem, it actually isn't. in this case, in this case, how ECL can enter is different from how CBEL can enter. It's harder to see what's happening at the B point. Do they take the C point? Shield maidens are about to rock up. Oh my goodness, no! But winged stars also get there. A half-ass charge there, but the shield maidens probably did most of the work. Oh my god, ECL is like where are your guys? I'm looking at the minimap right now, and they're like spread out everywhere. Now, this is going to be very weird because ECL is going to have to be winning on a lot of small fronts, and it does look like they are being successful here. Most certainly here successful at the B point right now. The only problem is that CBEL only needs to get a grips. They need to focus on not chasing, but on the major battles. Winged Assar is about to run straight through. Oh, wow, never mind. I thought straight through was going to go straight through, but Kazuya coming in strong there. Completely blocks the Winged Assar charge. Winged Assar charge comes in from a different angle, though. More successful than what happened there. I think Kazuya probably smashed the Winged Assars coming in for there. The C point actually got grabbed, and they took off some points from the base point. Whoa! It could be a triple cap. I think it's going to be a triple cap. Because there's going to be a triple cap for an additional 10 seconds at the very least. Now, this is really bad. Really bad for CBEL. Two reasons. CBEL lost heavy. Like, they lost heavy in that exchange. They need to reorganize their force. They're taking too long to take that C back, and they're losing more points as we're speaking. Now, this is the good thing. Now, this is what I like to see from ECL. ECL, chaos. Absolute chaos. Really strong in the chaos. They keep CBEL confused. Right now, they have putting pressure there on the C point. That's 2v1 right there. That could be a big loss. But they're up. They're up. Now, the problem here is that ECL will probably split between having Forces at the B point, forces at the A point, and forces at the base point. Big, big exchange right now. Camels are probably the one thing that is holding the line for ECL, but the B point does get taken, and it's a complete wipe of the B point as well. Whoever's just in that B point, Medals, whatever, just got completely crushed. Now, this is the scary part. There is 15 seconds. That's going to close up, so it doesn't even matter if they had anyone there. CBEL's best move is to go straight for that base point right now. There is a very awkward defense towards the A point. They could actually send a contingent to the A point as they're fighting here on the base point. Could win. Oh my goodness, these half bait charges are so weird. Massive exchange here on the front. CBEL, not committing here, has lost the initiative. They are losing heavily. With only a few minutes to go, with only a minute 30 to go, CBEL just lost the initiative. They are losing too many units to pressure an attack here. But if they keep them, but it's also a drawn-out fight. ECL or ECL is not doing very well at cleaning up the remainders, so it's a little bit of a drawn-out fight. If CBL could muster in a force to attack the A point and get a triple cap instead, that could be amazing. But right now, CBL not in a good position. They're running out of time. That's it. I think ECL has it in the bag from this moment onwards. They should have jumped straight into that base point. No questions asked. Not slowing down. ECL, well done. Really getting that good old cap. Just a little bit, even if it wasn't 25%, even if it wasn't 25%, even if it was 5%, even if it was 1%, that is enough to really lock out the enemy from making a comeback. And like, no matter what happens, there's no way CBL can turn this around. And congratulations, ECL. Whew. Really big pickup in the midsection. I really think it was very intense for ECL to really get a lot of things going for them. Winning on the small side, winning on the big battle, but coming in for the defense there. Really good decision for that base. Really good, strong finish for ECL. I'll be honest, the slowdown for CBEL was their detriment. It was the fall because they didn't keep ECL on the back foot. They didn't keep ECL on the defensive, and they couldn't push through. Maybe if they kept attacking, they could have pushed through. Maybe if they swung around towards the A point instead, they could have got a triple cap. But not enough time, not enough decisive battles for CBEL. Very desperate there for the finish. And again, congratulations for ECL. You are the champions of the HLL. Probably the first of its kind, and I definitely do think you do deserve it. That was a hard-fought battle. And of course, thank you, Oryx, for the 10 subs for the victory of ECL. And I do think that it is amazing to watch all of these to watch this and to finally finish it up on my favorite game mode. I do think this is probably the highlight of the HLL. Probably the best day. This is the thing. CBL, very boring at the start. You got a lot of low level teams. You get a lot of basic, one and done kind of strategies. But when you come down to like some of the top teams, it gets so intense. Even the smallest of actions have such a huge effect. I love the confidence out from the ECL members. You saw them so spread out. There were like at least 5, maybe half a dozen guys spread out right across that C section, and they were distracting. Massive distraction. And not only that, they actually got the C point in the end, grabbing the B point. Also, a little bit of cap on the base point. CBEL was in chaos. But for the finish, CBEL managed to pull themselves together, but they just were not in a winning position. And again, congratulations, congratulations. Winner of the HLL is the ECL, otherwise known as Ecliptos. And John Rima, congratulations, congratulations. You have won the title of a champion. Nevertheless, I do hope to see ECL come back again. I hope to see all of these teams to come back again. And I really wish them the best of luck for any tournament they're in. Because what I like to see is the skill of the players and the strategies of the team. Because when the skills of the players can really shine is when the strategy for the team really pushes them to their limits to play the best that they can be. And this is the field battle really shows you that the individual players from Ecliptos is a step above CBEL. Individual players taking action and literally dictating the game. Nevertheless, I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. I have so enjoyed today's finals. Probably the most enjoyable finals I've ever watched. And I do hope that you guys come around again for any time that CB has more tournaments. I do love commentating for them. But nevertheless, that is all for tonight. That is the end of the House Legion League, and that is the end of this season's commentary. Maybe in the next week we'll get the new season announcement, but that is for another day. I'll see you guys another time. But other than that, my name's Azukai. Have a nice day. Bye for now. Who win? Zerf! You missed the entire finals. We've been going at this for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Okay. 3, 2. ECL winning 3, CBEL winning 2. So CBEL is our champions. Where were you 2.5 hours ago? Alright, bye. I'm gonna eat now.